Well, I bet you came to this video to find out how strong the BURSTON Incarnon was. And you just found out that the Soma Incarnon ain't doing too good. Yeah, that happened. It's not a dream, it happened. Who here picked the Soma Incarnon? I bet you did right there, I see you. Don't lie, I picked it too, so no worries.
Even if I'm holding a little, no, I'm not falling. But when did I get lost in the middle?
What's good, folks? It's Warframe here with a new Warframe video coming at you with a BURSTON Incarnon build and review. This weapon is friggin' insane, let's be honest. The BURSTON Incarnon is literally the main character of this week. It has 600 rounds when you activate its Incarnon mode. I just want you to think about that. So if you want to feel like Rambo or Arnold Schwarzenegger in Commando, well, take the BURSTON, and it fires really fast without fire rate buffs. So what does the Incarnon mode do? It's a mixture between the Latum and the Fenmore. As usual, headshot, activate Incarnon, go into Incarnon mode. It's a fast firing LMG that fits in your pocket with a small 2-meter AoE explosion. So yes, it explodes on contact like the Latum. Shoot near the enemies and they do get affected by that radial explosion. Does the explosion scale with Prime Firestorm? Yes, it does, but it only gets a 0.88 meter increase. So yeah, it's not that great and definitely not worth slotting in. The BURSTON also seems to have some weird ricochet effect. I don't even think it's hitting anybody. I tested this out in the simulacrum. It seems to be manifesting damage somewhere underneath the platform. However, in an actual mission, it's hitting enemies that haven't even spawned yet or haven't even seen yet. So I think this is some sort of bug, or I really don't know how to explain this. Its Incarnon mode is pure heat, nothing else, no IPS. It's kind of getting tiresome that every Incarnon adapter gets bonus heat. I mean, at least a new element or even a combined element, but it's still fine. This heat damage is very strong because it also comes with a very strong 30% status chance in its Incarnon mode, so that means you can go crazy with builds. And trust me, this weapon just shreds. One time on stream I was killing enemies and I didn't even have base damage arcanes activated. Alright, let's take a look at the evolutions. So evolution 1 is always activating the Incarnon mode, and evolution 2 we have 2 buffs. You cannot go wrong with either one. Both of them give you 42 extra base damage, but with an additional perk. The first one gives you +2 punch through if you have over 450 armor, which can be useful if you're playing Rhino or, just health tanking builds. While the second one gives you +5 multi-shot on the final burst, which only works in its normal mode, not the Incarnon. It's actually really interesting if you're using the regular mode of the BURSTON, which still slaps by the way, or that little bit of extra multi-shot when you're almost out of bullets, which can help you charge Incarnon faster. So you cannot go wrong with either one. Evo 3 are all utility buffs, and only 2 of them function on the normal mode. The best choice here is to go for that negative recoil, because the other one is 100% reload only if you reload from empty. Extended volley gives you 21 bonus bullets in your magazine. This only affects the regular BURSTON. It already has 45 bullets, so this is a nice boon. Take whichever one. But I went for the negative recoil, and to be honest, you don't even notice the recoil on this weapon. And then finally, in Evolution 4, you're definitely going for the crit chance one, because why would you not take the crit chance? Listen, before you say anything, this is obviously the one you're going to go for. I mean, the other perks are okay, they're decent, but, it's not the crit chance. Fatal Affliction is pretty much gun CO, but you're going to be modding gun CO on the weapon. And if you're not over 100% crit chance, well, the consistency in damage is going to be slightly off. And Reaver's Rapture only functions on the regular mode. It gives you 20% bonus damage, and this buff resets if you reload. So I would suggest if you're going for a regular build, take the bonus reload speed on full magazine empty and Reaver's Rapture. It could work, but to be honest, for a more versatile weapon build, definitely go for the crit chance because it just works on both Incarnon and regular mode. Now, the BURSTON is really, really powerful. It has 600 bullets in the magazine, as I stated earlier. This means you can go long with this weapon. And I will show you 3 useful builds. Of course, the usual hunter munitions, usual corrosive, but I have a viral heat build for you, where heat is the main damage type that we're going to be dealing on enemies, while viral is just there to debuff the enemies. And all 3 builds just destroy Steel Path. I mean, hey, if you want to use this in normal mode and overpower little enemies, you can, but do you feel as powerful if you don't use it in Steel Path? Alright, let's start off with the basic raw damage build, which is going to be the corrosive build. Primary Deadhead is my base damage arcane, and this gives me 360% base damage, recoil reduction, and a headshot damage multiplier. This recoil reduction also stacks with the negative recoil on the Incarnon evolution. So yeah, negative 100% recoil. To be honest, the weapon doesn't even feel like it has recoil. Whatever faction damage you want, crit chance, crit damage, a multi-shot, prime shred for the fire rate, and punch through. If you don't have this, use the regular one or vile acceleration. You cannot go wrong with either one. The two elements to form corrosive and bladed rounds. We're over 100% crit chance, 150% to be exact, and we're just adding onto that with bladed rounds. That's 120% crit damage while aiming down sights after a kill. Alright, moving on to the basic hunter munitions build, and it's going to be viral and heat with hunter munitions. So yeah, pretty solid, it shreds, that's all you need to know. Pretty similar to the corrosive one with the crit, multi-shot, faction damage, you know, the usual. But in this case, instead of running corrosive and bladed rounds, you just switch it up for viral and hunter munitions. That's about it, very straightforward. And now for one of my favorite builds. This can be used in disruption and even regular content because it really shreds. You may notice something strange with this build. My elemental mods are not ranked up. But Nightmare Frame, why would you have both elemental mods unranked? Well, this is due to proc priority. Heat is my main damage source, and I don't want it to be overpowered by the viral damage. So I have it unranked, meaning my heat will have a higher chance to proc over the course of me shooting the enemy, while viral is there to just debuff the enemy. With these two mods equipped alongside galvanized aptitude, I get 63% status chance. On this setup, I get 55 heat and 16 viral, meaning heat is the highest priority here. And with a fire rate of 27, oh yeah, we're definitely going to be proccing all of that heat on enemies. Also, another thing, this pure heat build is using the heat inherit mechanic. If you want to learn more about it, please check out the cards on the top right. It's in depth. TLDR, you scale a heat damage instance from another heat proc applied on the enemy with a larger multiplier affected by a faction mod and a larger heat damage source. Phew. But seriously, go check out those videos. This build is good for disruption and even regular gameplay. If you're doing an endurance disruption, I highly recommend running primary dexterity. This way you can always have your base damage buffs active by simply getting a melee kill. However, if you're doing regular content, take primary merciless. It's just way easier to build up and just you go to town on enemies. And plus it gives you the bonus reload speed, which also affects going in and out of Incarnon mode. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, the BURSTON Prime Incarnon adapter is disgustingly powerful. Nothing too special, it just does a lot of damage. I mean, hey, to some people that's special. And I'm pretty sure some of you will be like, bro, at least show the Eidolon builds. Fine. That's it. No ribbons. But yeah, can we have a moment of silence for the people who picked Soma? I mean, it's not bad, but it does stuff, right? Anyway, folks, that has been it from me. I do hope you enjoyed this video and learned something from it. And if you did, feel free to leave a like, share, and subscribe for more Warframe content streams and so much more. Do it for the description. Thanks for watching, and as always, peace.